Good evening, everyone. I'm very honored to be part of this session. We basically started this morning speaking a lot about responsibility, about our responsibility as leaders to make the employees stay, to make the employees happy in our company, and ideally to recommend us as employers so that we can organically grow within. I will try to close the session in the same way, responsibly. And we'll start with a short movie that will bring us into a reflection about our responsibility socially, not only professionally, and how we should smartly and wisely utilize the resources that we have. We might think that these are endless resources. In fact, they are not. So let us spend some minutes around this and then have the talk further.
Each year, 1/3 of all the food the world produces is lost or wasted. Not only does this mean an economic loss, it means that all of the natural resources used for growing, processing, packaging, transporting and marketing that food were also wasted. Imagine. 28% of the world's agricultural land grows crops that are wasted. That equals the total land area of China, Mongolia and Kazakhstan. Plus the water wasted in growing those crops equals the annual flow rate of the Zambezi or the Volga rivers, an amount that could cover all the world's household water needs. And as agriculture and fisheries expand into wild areas, overexploit natural resources, forest and marine habitats are lost, along with their biodiversity. Above all, wasted food emits some 3.3 gigatons of greenhouse gases. If this were a country, it would represent the 3rd largest emitting country in the world. This cannot continue. With a future of more people and fewer resources, we cannot afford to throw our natural resources out with the garbage. Let's do something about wastage.
This would be the intro video that somehow brings me back to the very first step when I became more self-aware about waste and about food waste. That was around 7 years ago when I had my first boy, 6 months old, and we started to do food diversification. I'm sure the parents in the room know the topic. Not only once a week I was throwing away the food I was producing. Of course, the adults never eat those purees that we would like the kids to do. So my self-awareness about how much I was spending time, resources and emotional investment somehow made me feel more conscious about what kind of waste we generally sometimes tolerate in the personal and also in the professional life. I'm very honored to be part of a company that really cares about the environment and the proper use, responsible use of resources. We've talked a lot about truck drivers. Somehow it made my lead to the topic because I'm proud to say DB Schenker 6 months ago in Sweden launched the world's first electric and driveless truck. So this truck went from the warehouse to a nearby DB Schenker location without any driver and fully autonomous. In this way, we sustain the environment, somehow also thinking responsibly about the utilization of resources. We should think about efficiency and how we properly use the means we have at hand, not only in the social life, in the personal life, but also in the professional life. And at work, the very first thought that comes into my mind, how deeply are we involved into the responsibility of getting processes clean, of getting processes wasteless. In this respect, my talk at the closing of the session, it's really a challenge to keep your attention, would be on how do we get the processes fit for digitalization. We've talked about the semantics of these, so that we have robots being implemented, software solutions or machine learning AI on clean processes. I would consider as a very first point to be necessary is transparency. Transparency in processes means that you can either do it I would say more unprofessionally or cheaper by drawing your processes, by storing them in different SharePoints, in different locations. That would probably ease your process understanding in what you are doing in the company. However, a business process modeling tool would help you have one single source of truth, one single repository, and it will help you have the processes in a kind of work breakdown structure where you can really understand the processes into an end-to-end model. Then the next perspective I would bring into getting the processes fit for digitalization is the process improvement aspect. I've started with the idea of getting waste out. Waste, you might already know, is coming from lean philosophy. It's one of the tools that you can use and techniques that you can get rid out of waste. But we have another element. It's called variability of processes. How do we do that? How do we analyze the data so that we can rid of variability? That's Lean Six Sigma that helps you analyze properly the data. Hopefully you have it structured, and take process peculiarities outside the context. Generally in the processes we do not have a one-size-fits-all pattern. We work with many countries in a shared service environment, in BPO environment, and each of the countries would like to keep their process specific. Whenever we discuss to internal customers, because DB Schenker GBS Bucharest acts as a shared service center, they always say we need to do it like this, we cannot read of process specifics, we've already done by this. Or ultimately the argument is it is a legal requirement. It is only afterwards when you specifically ask for that legislation that proves the legal requirement, then they potentially change the mind. Process improvement, then I would consider it to be the second dimension of getting processes ready for digitalization, and that would enable the third element that I consider vital is the end-to-end. Of course, whenever you look at the process, you can take bits and parts of it and automate it, but you won't get the full potential of it. You'll not get the scale that you would like your business case to show. In process modeling and in our practices in DB Schenker, we try to bring end-to-end as much as possible. We have very specific projects that we have initiated on improving the end-to-end and including also digital tools as part of the optimization. In order to be more specific about what we do in DB Schenker, I've put together an image. It might seem crowded, but each of the elements in the picture has its own meaning. I will start with BPMN 2.0. We put in place a global process management and improvement structure 1 year and a half ago. Actually, it was also the moment when I joined the company. And I'm very proud to say that in less than 6 months, we have in one of the state-of-the-art tools on the market, all the processes in the organization already built in. We are now growing into the head office processes, in the country processes, so that we can build this end-to-end landscape. So what we aimed at the beginning when this picture was created and when the vision for the global process management and improvement team was put on the table was this first step. Without it, our opinion would be that process digitalization, it's just an attempt to do the things better, but it's not necessarily sure that you will succeed. Then, of course, as we've spoken about responsibility, we don't want that process improvement and digitalization is the responsibility just of management. We have involved all the layers in the organization to come up with ideas, to contribute with their outside-the-box thinking and previous experiences in other companies, so that we build up top-of-the-market automations or improvements. In this respect, we are training them both internally and externally on Lean and Lean Six Sigma methodologies. Of course, metrics are key enablers to assess success in any digital transformation or in any process improvement. We've had metrics in all of the processes. These are evolving. We are revising them as well. So continuously adapting practically to the new environment. In the essence, now the go forward strategy would be, of course, to gradually embed digitalization also into our processes. But the very first foundation we have considered would have been, and it is actually, to drive our organization process-centric, customer-centric, and then to have this organization fueled by IT. So processes and customer centricity to be at its base. In a nutshell, I'm just seeing the note from Alexandra. There are a few minutes left. My encouragement for you as practitioners in the domain, and of course as in your endeavors to make the processes better and faster and more efficient, is not to forget about processes, because process improvement, once you make it a partner, the digital transformation is more likely to be a success. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Alina. If you have any questions for Alina, please.
One question. Yes, please.
You've mentioned you've involved all the layers, not just the management, and I was wondering if you had, what was your strategy for doing this?
Thank you for the question. Indeed, we wanted the adoption to be made not in a forced way, but in a bottom-up way, reason for which we have implemented a program that actually encourages the people to submit ideas of their own, being process improvement ideas, being optimization ideas, and then make the people accountable for implementation. Our global process management and improvement team acts on the coaching side, on the mentoring side, but does not fully implement all those ideas, but makes the people responsible for these. And then the people are proud, are happy to contribute, and makes them part of the story. Thank you.
Any other questions? Please. Just a second, we have a mic, I think. Maybe.
I can hear.
Can everyone in the room hear the question? Okay, great, thank you.
How did we overcome? I can truly say we did not fully overcome. We have had attempts. Sometimes we did succeed. Sometimes the legal justification it proved to be real, so we couldn't overcome it. But sponsorship, I think, it's key. We generally selected in our end-to-end projects top management sponsors. And when I speak about top management sponsors, I also speak about the CFO of DB Schenker that is sponsoring projects we are leading in global process management and improvement. Thus, this sponsor has a hat and, let us say, a more powerful push towards the countries, but also towards GBS. So the answer would be sponsorship. Sponsorship helps you get through all the different explanations sometimes the countries bring. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions for Alina, please? So, Alina, when do you think we'll see the driverless truck in Romania as well?
Oh, I think we go back to the debate of the colleagues earlier. We really need, of course, a very good infrastructure, and it's worth mentioning this driverless truck doesn't go either on the roads of Sweden, just in the internal perimeter of DB Schenker, and we've partnered with an external innovation company to be able to do that.
So you're still testing it at the moment?
Yes.
Not fully functional?
Not fully functional.
Do you have any estimation when it will be functional on the streets of Sweden, at least?
Unfortunately not, but for sure it will be a big and massive marketing campaign around that. So we'll be happy to share on LinkedIn. So if you have Mia's connection, you'll see it immediately.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to you as well.